episode number 157 of the so-called sports analyst, where I still don't know when we're going live or not. Josh, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Spurs walked away with the dub versus the Mavericks the other night, even though I couldn't. The greedy Mavericks TV wants to take all the rights. Like, why do I pay for League Pass? Why do I have YouTube TV? Why do I have the local, like, national television
Yep.
and League Pass? And I still can't watch the Spurs versus Mavericks
Mhm.
game because the Mavericks want to be greedy. Just a poverty franchise, if you really ask me. But they still walk away with the win. They play here at 5 o'clock, so
Mhm.
can't wait for that one. But been other than that, been pretty good recently. How about you?
Doing good. I'm doing great, except for my Bulls and the trades that we've been making. But
Yep.
yeah, as far as like Josh, he's not lying. He was sending like screenshots of him watching the box score the of the game and saying walking
Yeah,
him
play
down.
by play. The play by play.
The best way to do it. But all right, before we start, find us on Twitch, Discord, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube under TSCSA or the so-called sports analyst. Whether you listen to this live or another day, we appreciate it. Make sure you share this to anybody that likes sports. But all right, let's get into it. So the main thing, I know you and Ryan talked about basketball last week as far as like updating everything, and we'll get to as far as contenders, MVP, all that talk later on down the road. But we need to talk about the trade deadline, and it went from one of the most underwhelming trade deadlines to those last 2 3 days. It started to
Yeah.
pop off. So I'll let you lead right here. Which major trade do you want to talk about first?
I mean, we could kind of just start from the first big domino to fall, and I feel like that was Jaren Jackson Jr. I feel like
Yeah.
I think we saw the writing on the wall for quite some time that he was eventually going to get traded, and they finally accepted the rebuild. I just want
Hmm.
questions surrounding John Morant is where I'm kind of sitting at. Like, where do they go from there with John Morant? Do they hope
Hmm.
to get a top draft pick and pair someone next to him, or do they actually look to move off him in the summer? Because I know his value right now is shot. Like no
Yeah.
one really wants to trade for John Morant, or at least at value. Like they're asking for incentive to trade for John Morant. Where possibly like 3 years ago would have been like, oh yeah, we'll send you the farm for John Morant. No, now you got to send us a first round pick if we're getting John Morant, and I think that's where they're
Yeah.
hesitant to trade him. But looking at the Utah Jazz and their move for Jaren Jackson
The
Jr., I feel
ultimate
like
big lineup.
I feel like this is a move. Like I really do enjoy this move for them. Like I think they're finally accepting. Okay, we've rebuilt for a couple of years, and they still have their top draft pick this year,
Yeah.
which I believe is top 8 protected.
Yeah.
I want to
Top eight
say.
protected.
So yeah, like if it's one of those spots, then they compare another superstar, and especially in a top loaded class, and if you can sneak into that top 4 and get one of those guys and put them on this Utah Jazz basketball team, I do think there's a lot for to be excited about. Like I think they finally realized maybe Lowry, we keep him at the 4. Now we have a 5 in Jaren Jackson Jr. who can stretch the floor and defend, and then you move Keontae George to the primary ball handler role, move
Mhm.
Isaiah Collier to the backcourt. It kind of takes away Walter Clayton Jr., moves him to Memphis, which is kind of like a sell high. Like I do think the
Yeah.
sell high
Mhm.
on it is very good. I do think they took at the right time. Taylor Hendricks, kind of a project, really hasn't formed into nothing. And as far as the draft picks, I think the Memphis Grizzlies are just trying to load up one after another. So
7 total draft picks from
yeah,
the Jay and Desmond Bain.
yeah, and as far as the Jazz, I do think this is a good move for them. I think they need to kind of embrace, okay, now we need to try to compete, not this season, but definitely next season. We will
Mhm.
try being one of those teams that are maybe in the play-in spot, maybe pushing for that 6th seed. But I do like the move for the outlook. I do think they have some key pieces, and those pieces are already working well together, and they're young, and they can compete for a couple of seasons.
So yeah, I want to go with that Jazz point. I'm just a little bit confused by because you have Walker Kessler, Jaron Jackson Jr., Laurie Markkinen. There's going to be an odd man out there.
I think
I'm
it's
one
Walker Kessler for sure.
because I don't know if you saw that report. The Pacers they offered 2 first round picks for Walker Kessler and they declined it. So I don't know
Mhm.
how high they're trying to sell. I mean, we saw. We'll get to Zubac in a
Well, they
second.
might not even be trying to sell. They might just be
Yeah,
pulling like Walker Kessler off the bench and having like him and
yeah.
Isaiah Collier work off the bench in certain situations.
Yeah, that's true. That's I guess that was just my main thing from there. But I do like you're starting to see like the foundation of the Utah Jazz being built. Like, okay, we have a veteran who kind of has playoff experience here. But I want to talk more from the Grizzlies side right here. So I just want to say, as far as the Grizzlies, from 2 all the way to 15, they know how to
Hmm.
build a roster. So them getting draft picks, that's perfectly fine right there. Or Walter Clayton, Taylor Hendricks, those young prospects, you never know what's going to happen. But at the end of the day, you need a superstar. That's what John Morant was supposed to be. And honestly, he ruined it for this entire Memphis Grizzlies franchise. Like they put all
Yep.
their chips in on John Morant. And so them getting these draft picks, like I'm saying, they could build 2 through 15. They can. But at the end of the day, if you don't have a star or two
Hmm.
superstars, then you're not gonna win. So I think this is just them like getting rid of everybody. Desmond Bain, Jaren Jackson Jr. So even if you have to attach a pick to John Morant, you're still gonna have over 8 first round picks within the next 2 years. So
Yeah.
I think it was definitely the right thing to do. But also shout out to Georges Niang to getting moved again after being stuck on who was it, the Hawks? Yeah, it was the Hawks for a while. But okay, let's get to this next big domino to fall. I'm interested to hear this one right here. We'll get to like smaller
A
trades in
couple
a
other ones
second.
later.
Yeah,
Yeah.
James Harden to
Mm.
the Cleveland Cavaliers for Darius Garland. So that's the main trade right there. Obviously, there's a pick attached as far as with the Clippers going to the Cavs. But what's your takeaway from this one?
I mean, as far as the Clippers side, I definitely understand the move. Like, I think you kind of sell on James Harden, bring in a younger piece who still has a lot of potential. Has been dealing with injury for the past couple of seasons. I do know Darius Garland. I don't think he'll ever be like a superstar in the NBA, but he's definitely a good point guard to have on your football team, on your basketball team at all times. And especially if you start to build a team, he can definitely be a centerpiece in that new fold that they're trying to get into with the Los Angeles Clippers. But as far as the Cleveland Cavaliers, it's a little bit of head scratching, but also understandable. Like, I think, why do you trade Darius Garland for an aging veteran on an expiring contract? And that's just one of those things. And maybe that's the exact reason why they trade Darius Garland, because they know they're gonna have to pay one man named Donovan Mitchell here pretty soon, and it frees up a lot of cap space. I think people are starting not to realize that. Then honestly, James Harden, even to this day, I think is a better player than Darius Garland. And
Yeah.
I think honestly the Cleveland Cavaliers are seeing, maybe we need that extra piece that can score at will, and who's really improved passing over the last couple of seasons. If not, he was never a bad passer, but he's definitely making better decisions as of
Yeah.
late, and that's James Harden. And maybe this can be the piece that pushes them a little bit over the top, especially on a little bit of a run that they've been on as of recently. Push them over the top to make it another playoff push and hopefully getting one step further to that championship. But I still do think that trading a young asset, a young piece for
Hmm.
an aging contract, an aging veteran like that, I don't know. It's just kind of risky to me, unless you're really just planning on like embracing, um, embracing like the Donovan Mitchell playing point guard at a certain point or something like that. I feel like maybe they could have used a wing instead of James Harden and moved Donovan Mitchell to the point. I feel like that would have worked out a little bit better, but I do see where they're coming from, where it takes the ball out of Donovan Mitchell's hands and allows another playmaker to
Yeah.
come in that can also score. That I think
Yeah.
that's the important part of it.
Yeah, no, I'm with you right there as far as that. It's definitely gonna. I know the Cavs, they had one of the best offenses in the league last year, but James Harden, he's gonna take you another level up from there because James Harden, no matter where he goes, he's gonna have bare minimum a top 10 offense, and I think it could get a little bit stagnant at some points. I think we're definitely going to see like a your turn, my turn situation with James Harden
Hmm.
and Donovan Mitchell. But honestly, I think this is to bring in for next year, as crazy as it sounds, how you're saying they're opening up cap space. I think they're opening it up for one certain guy
Yeah.
in the off season, and he wears number 23 and very infamously known. I like this has been picking up steam. Like I'm not saying this just because like we're Braun fans here, but like it makes sense. Like the writing is on the wall, and like what does LeBron always ask for? He asks for veterans who've been in the playoffs, and so there's going to be not only one major spot open, but almost two. So LeBron would take what, a $10 million pay cut, which still be making 45, $50 million a year.
Yeah.
So that's opening it up. But the Cavs side, or I mean the Clippers side right here, I guess we could talk about this trade, like kind of combine the two. I like the young core they're going with Darius Garland, Benedict Mathurin, and I know Kawhi's there. Who knows what they're going to trade Kawhi for? Because
Well,
he's still
also
on a
the
2 year
suspension could
contract.
be looming too, so maybe that made a lot of
Yeah,
teams like
yeah,
a
like
little bit
hesitant.
hesitant. Yeah, and the injuries. I mean, the injury history for
Yeah,
Kawhi is
yeah, of
insane.
course.
So,
So that's where it's like, that's where it's tricky. But I guess we'll get into that as far as
in my
I
mind, for a second, I thought like, is he coming back to San Antonio? I was
I
like,
know,
I was
I
like,
know.
I was like, who's Harrison Barnes and Jeremy Sohan and a couple picks for Kawhi Leonard? You know, but also like, okay, the dumbest argument of all time of why like who
Dude, I
leaving
forgot.
hurt the team more, KD or
It was
Kawhi? It's
Kawhi, bro.
obviously Kawhi. Like, there's no way it was KD was an unrestricted free
We,
agent.
yes, like
Yeah, like
Ryan and Damon are not understanding that right there. No, they're not. Like Kawhi, okay, coming from an outsider perspective, just to show like Josh isn't being biased here. He sat out for 2 years of the peak of his powers, while Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, LaMarcus Aldridge were at the peak of their powers. He sat out for 2 years, and they were calling him crazy
DeJounte
names
Murray was coming off second team all
on All Star,
defense.
right? Wasn't he
Yeah,
an All Star?
not
Yeah,
yet, but he was coming into his own.
yeah, a trajectory. And Kawhi sat out, then asked for a trade. And then, like you said, he robbed Danny Green too. He- or what did you say? He took Danny Green
He
as
took
what?
Danny Green with him as collateral.
Yeah, as collateral. That's what he said right there. Easily Kawhi, easily by far.
And I've never seen any coach go up to a microphone and tell the fans to stop booing somebody. That's all I'm
Hmm.
saying.
Like
They
honestly, who knows if the Spurs they win a championship, but they at least make a couple conference finals, Western Conference finals. Like they
Yeah.
might be able to beat the
They're gonna
Warriors.
retire KD's number. They're not gonna retire Kawhi Leonard's number.
No, they are
They already
not
gave it to
retired.
Dylan Harper.
Yeah, I was about to say a rookie has it already. But yeah, okay. As far as this one, Benedict Mathurin, Isaiah Jackson for Kobe Brown and Avika Zubac. So people might not know a lot about Zubac. So where do you think he is? Do you feel like this is a big move for the Pacers right here?
I think it definitely is. I think we've seen improvement from Ivica Zubac over the last couple of seasons. Definitely offensively, he's definitely developed like an interior game that with a good footwork, and he's creating a lot of havoc. And we've seen what he's been able to do defensively against big time players like Nikola Jokic, and he's actually known as like the Nikola Jokic
Yeah.
kryptonite. So I'm trying to find the trade right here so I can see the details. Oh, I found it. I found it. But yeah, so as far as if I think it works for the Pacers very well. They get honestly maybe an upgrade defensively for Miles Turner. Like I really wholeheartedly believe that. Maybe not a stretch like he does, but it's not like Ivica Zubac is a cone either. Like he
Yeah.
goes up high and sets screens and pops out and rolls. And he really is an enforcer on both ends of the court. And I think it's a beautiful trade. And I don't think they really lose much because if we look at this first round pick that they gave up this season, it's protected 1 through 4 and protected 10 through 30. So if it lands in the 5 to 9, the Clippers get it. But if it
Mhm.
lands on any other spot, the
They
Pacers
get
receive their pick, and then it turns into a 2031 unprotected going to the Los Angeles Clippers. So
yeah.
I think it's still a win-win. Like the trade so far out, I mean the pick so far out, it may not matter, and it's literally would take literal luck for it to fall 5 to 9.
Yeah.
So as far as the Pacers, I think they're building a good team for Tyrese Halliburton when he does return. And the thing is, they'll have Tyrese, they'll have Pascal, they have Andrew Nimhart, they'll have Ben Shepherd, they'll have TJ McConnell, they'll
They're
still
gonna
have
have a
Ivica
top four
Zubac
pick.
now, they'll have Jay Huff. And like you're saying, they will still maybe possibly projectedly still have a top 4 pick. And that could be that could be Darren Peterson.
Peterson.
Imagine him next to Tyrese Halliburton. He doesn't even have to be a ball handler. Like all he has
Yeah.
to do is just get to a spot and be a bucket. And
Yeah.
that's literally all he is a bucket. Like so
Yeah.
that, and then even if you want to add in a guy like a Cameron Boozer, you can slot in at the 4, maybe
Mhm.
move Pascal to his original position at the 3, and just have a big man lineup, or even just have someone come off the bench, and then that's not even regarding AJ DeBansta. So
Yeah.
possibly the best scorer in all of college basketball, AJ DeBansta, and he's like the Cooper Flag route, a year younger than he's supposed to be
Yeah.
right now. So, if they land one of those guys plus Ivica Zubac, it's this Pacers team. I think by next year, them and the Celtics, because Jason Tatum I do think makes that much of an impact. They'll be the two teams fighting for those top two spots in the Eastern Conference, and the Pistons because trajectory and
Yeah.
progression.
Yeah, no, the Pacers right here, this trade, it's necessarily, I think it showed, okay,
And
we're
he's cheap.
punting.
And he's cheap.
Yeah.
19 to 20
Yeah,
million dollars a year for a starting five in the NBA. Who
that's
may
very
in the
cheap.
East, who in the East may be an all-star caliber player in the East.
He
So
might be the best pure center in the
in the
Eastern
East.
Conference.
Jarrett
Yeah.
Allen,
No, Zubac. Well, Jared Allen just did drop 40.
he's pretty
40.
good. Jarrett Allen's pretty good.
Hey, Zubac, he dropped a couple 40 burgers
Oh,
before.
he has. He's been
Yeah.
pretty good.
So I would say same level. I would say same level.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Pacers right here, this is more of a trade where it's like we're planning on the season, but let's get back to this next year. Let's get back to this trade next year, and you're gonna see how much of an impact he's gonna have with Tyrese Halliburton, who we talked about how great he was with James Harden. Just imagine with the best passer in the league in Tyrese Halliburton, or debatably what top three bare minimum. But the Clippers right here, like I was saying, they're finally they don't have draft picks, so you have to get young, promising
And
prospects in
it's
Darius
not
Garland and now Benedict
yeah.
Mathurin.
It's not necessarily that they're getting draft picks. Don't get me wrong. Like they're not getting draft picks like within the next 2 years. But come
Yeah,
2028, come and on, they're gonna
yeah,
be set up with some great draft capital. And who knows what that turns into for the Los Angeles Clippers. And we'll see what they do in the offseason with Kawhi.
yeah,
Wholeheartedly. But I do think the Clippers did make some good moves that were much needed. Like I think these moves
yeah,
were needed like so bad for them to actually like, okay, we
yeah.
need to just get rid of this core and move
Mhm.
forward.
Yeah, it was definitely something where it's like okay, we did ruin that Paul George trade, and we're gonna be living through that for the next 5 to 10 years. But how can we recoup some of that? And they've done not completely, but they've done a decent job. I don't think you could like ever do a good job from recovering from it, but a decent job from it. But all right, time to get. I think this was the first major, or no, the second major domino to fall. The Anthony Davis trade, which I'm trying to find
Mhm.
the details right now. If you
Yeah,
could find it
same. I'm
before
trying to
me,
scroll up and down.
are you on the NBA transaction?
I'm on Yahoo.
Oh, you're on Yahoo.
I
No,
got
but
it.
you got it.
Okay. Mavericks get Chris Middleton, AJ Johnson, Malachi Branham, Marvin Bagley III. Thunder's 2026 first round pick, Warriors 2030 first round pick, Suns is top 20 protected. That's crazy.
Mhm.
Suns 2026 second round pick, Bulls 2027 second round pick, Rockets 2029 second round pick, and the Wizards get Anthony Davis, Jaden Hardy, D'Angelo Russell, and Dante Exum, which we all know the main piece of this is Anthony Davis.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, it's okay. And
the
also
picks
another
really mean
big thing,
nothing.
like it really isn't, but Anthony Davis being out for the rest of the year. So okay, this means that not only are they going to have Alex Sarr, Keyshawn George, Trey Young. Well, Trey Young, who knows if he comes back, and they're going to have a top five pick this year because they're going
They
to
still
tank.
have
Let's be honest.
Bilal. They still have a couple other pieces too.
So
Justin
where
Champagne's on a very team-friendly contract.
where do you see the Wizards moving forward? Obviously, this isn't a move for this year. This is a move for next year. Where do you
Yeah,
see
it
them
is.
moving forward?
Yeah, so I mean, I said at the beginning of the season, like even last year, that I do think, but pre-draft, I'd said that the Wizards have one of the best futures in my eyes. I really wholeheartedly believe that. I do think they've put some good pieces on that team to really make things happen. And Trey Johnson, we forgot that name. He's still there too. So they still have a bucket getter like when they need one. Especially, I do think he has the makings of a Lou Will. Like I will say that just a
Yeah.
tangent. Like I think a sixth man that can just bring you buckets off the bench. But as far as the Washington Wizards, their future, I love this trade for the Washington Wizards if they don't resign Trey Young and Anthony Davis to contract extensions immediately. Like they need
Mhm.
to at least give themselves a year to figure out this team as a whole and a collective and how they play together and see if they actually those two guys get injured. Because if they get
Yeah.
injured while on a contract extension, you're just stuck in the same place you were at before, paying big name guys and trading away draft capital that you could
Yeah.
have kept. But now, if you really wait and see, okay, next season, how does Trey Young play with this? How is he moving around? How is Anthony Davis and Alexander Sarr defensively? What is this tandem looking like? And almost this is what I feel like um um what's the name? Dude that just got fired from the Mavericks. I already forgot his
Oh,
name.
Nico.
Nico Harrison. This is what I feel like he may be projected for this lineup of the Mavericks to eventually be, just at a lesser level.
Yeah.
But I do think that this is going to help Alexander Starr's development, having Trey Young and Anthony Davis, because I mean Trey
Mhm.
Young
Yeah.
being a passer that he is only going to make people around him better offensively, and Anthony Davis just being able to show him the ropes, show him how to play defensively, when to time his blocks, when to time everything, when to time rebounds, because
Yeah.
Anthony Davis, whether people like it or not, and a lot of
He's a
slander has
top
been on his
75.
name,
Yeah.
has been on his name. He's one of the top big men of all time, and
Mhm.
that's not even a debate. And I do think they can do a lot by next season. I don't think that they'll be a conference contender or a NBA championship contender, but I do think that they'll be a playoff contender. And I think for the Washington Wizards, they're still going to have a top pick this year as well, and I think that's why the Anthony Davis shutdown was for sure an
Mhm.
outlook that
Yeah.
was going to happen, and I'm sure Trey Young shutdown's going to come here pretty soon as well. So,
Yeah.
um, I think they know what they're doing. They're going to add another big piece in the offseason, I'm sure, and I'm sure they have a lot of cap room. I haven't looked at it completely, and enough to go
Yeah.
get another guy to add on to this young and up and coming roster, along with these two veterans that you do need two strong veterans, and I think this Washington Wizards team can make some noise.
Yeah. No, I definitely think the Washington Wizards they're gonna be good for the next 2 to 3 years. Like at this year, it's just my biggest thing is that you're putting stock into, as much as we want to say, I'm not worried about Trey Young. Trey Young, he barely got hurt this year, so I'm not gonna say he's injury prone. But Anthony Davis, you're putting stock. This is already the second team we've seen in a year put major stock into an injury prone guy. Whenever he's on the court, he's amazing. He's amazing on the court. And I think it will work out with Alex Sarr. That's not the problem. It's just a matter of will he stay on the court? That's the biggest thing. And I know some people they're gonna say, like how you were saying, they're playoff contenders, maybe not conference championship contenders. And why should you make this trade? You know, some teams, they're just not cut to win NBA championships, whether we like it or not. Honestly, it's probably the same 10 to 8 teams throughout the entire year for the next 5, 10 years, unless a drastic superstar goes somewhere else. It's usually the same teams every single time. So you'd be fine with making a second round, making a conference championship. That's just part of the game if we really want to look at it as sports. There's a few teams that really do win championships. Look at the NBA, look at football, look at baseball. It's very few teams that win. So
And
it
if not, it's
gets
the same teams over and over again. So
yeah, yeah, exactly. Look at the Warriors and Cavs and Spurs who dominated what from '05 all the way to 2018, a 13-year stretch. So yeah, it's just I really like what the Wizards are doing, and I just think that let them get a top 3 pick. Let them get just one of the three. AJ, honestly,
well, that's
they could
why I
go
was
anywhere
pushing
in
for
the
them
draft.
to get the number one pick this year. I feel like this would have been one of the best spots for Cooper Flag. Like just
Yeah,
at a like a develop at a growing standpoint on a
yeah,
young team. Like I think if they had Cooper Flag right now, this team would look pretty nasty. But we
yeah.
know obviously like he's on the Mavericks, and that's a
Mhm.
hypothetical right now. But at the time, I was like, if this team gets a young superstar, who knows what they can do
Yeah, so I'm looking right now. They're gonna have 45 million in cap space. So they're gonna have some wiggle room this year,
to get some role players, get some
like
good solid role players,
during the offseason to make some
and
type
who
of
knows who
move.
they move around.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And who knows? Yeah, yeah, exactly. So I think it's real interesting. I really like this move right here. I know it probably shocks some people, but man, all I'm just saying is from this map side right here. I don't remember the exact screenshot of like what they end up getting for Luca, but it was pretty much Chris Middleton and like 4 first round picks and like 3 seconds, AJ Johnson. So this Luca trade's looking worse and worse and worse.
Hmm.
So I know the Luca trade always gets brought up, but if they didn't have Cooper Flag, oh my goodness, Josh, this would be like one of, I mean, I think it already is the worst, but one of the worst trades in history. I think already surpassing, or no, do you think it surpasses the Shea trade with the Clippers?
Okay, I will say this. I don't think the Clippers knew he was going to end up becoming what he was.
Yeah, okay.
You,
Yeah, that
it's different. It's different trading a guy at the peak of his powers, and then like trading for, and I don't know. It's
yeah,
just,
trading
I think it just damn SGA turned into that guy like for the
okay,
Clippers. But
yeah.
as far as them, like no, we had a guy and we still traded him.
Yeah, oh yeah, that is true. But all right. Well, let's look
Hindsight
at
is one of the worst trades of all time.
yeah,
Hindsight,
no. I
SGA.
mean, yeah, that is true from the very beginning. As soon as the Luca trade happened, people were like, "This is the worst trade we've ever seen." But okay, let's get to some of these other trades right here. Which where do you want to go next?
Um, you know where we gotta go next, Fonzo. We got two. We got multiple things to talk about with you, Fonzo. Unless you want to go
Uh,
to save it for a little bit, we can go McCain.
let's go Jared McCain. Let's go Jared McCain to the Thunder for
Okay.
3 second round picks. So you people know this. You're a Jared McCain guy. You've been a Jared
Hmm.
McCain guy, but you also hate the Thunder. So this is two sides clashing right here. So where are you
Yeah,
gonna
I
fall
hate
here?
Jared McCain. He's an op now. I sorry. I just can't support him no more. I hate that he paints his fingernails now, and I hate that he does TikTok dances. And I just don't like anything about him, to be honest with you. Like I'm sorry. Yeah. So no, but yeah, I don't like him anymore. But I'm not gonna lie about that. He's on the Thunder. I'm sorry. You're guilty by association. But
Yep.
I do think this is a good move for him. I will say like I just don't know what he is right now anymore. We haven't seen it this year. We haven't seen
Mhm.
him really get back to what he was that 30 game stretch as a rookie. But he has been dealing with injury after injury and after injury, and who knows if that's affecting him physically or if he's just going through a slump right now because lack of basketball play. But I do think if there's any team that can
Mhm.
get him to start playing hard again or get him to start getting back to his true offensive rhythm, it's the Oklahoma City Thunder. I mean, they got Chip England, the best shooting coach in basketball. They got a good development staff. I mean, just look at their roster from up and down. And I'm telling you, he is better than everybody else, like from a talent perspective, than
Mhm.
almost everyone else not named Shea and J Dub and Trent Holmgren on that basketball team. And I would argue he's probably the fourth best player on that team, like just from a talent standpoint. As far as production, he may be arguably right behind AJ
Wait.
Mitchell.
What?
What?
Mm.
Did you hear me?
My bad. You glitched out on me for a second.
Oh,
You
you
glitched
were
out on me
glitching on
for a
me.
second. All I just
Um,
heard is talent and then Chet Holmgren.
I, th-
Oh, okay.
I think as far
No,
as
what were you saying?
the Thunder setup as a roster, I think that he may be from a talent standpoint their fourth best player. Like if we're being like honest,
Oh, for sure.
like,
Yeah.
but the thing is, putting it together is where it's going to be the problem. And I did say that having the developmental staff of the Oklahoma City Thunder and the best shooting coach in basketball in Shep England, I do think he'll get back onto track. Who knows if he'll get back to that 30 game stretch that he had as a rookie, or if he'll just be right
Yeah.
underneath that. And I think they have that coming off the bench. It does way more for them than they had already. Because one of my biggest knocks is that they didn't have a secondary ball
Yeah.
handler. And what does Jared McCain provide? A secondary ball handler who can create his own shot.
Mhm.
And I do think that's exactly what they needed. And if he can get back to what he was, this addition to the Oklahoma City Thunder, it could not going to break them, but it can definitely elevate them to another level than they already were. And as far as the 76ers, you sold way too low. Like I think you sold
Yeah.
way too early. I understand you have VJ Edgecombe, you have Tyrese Maxey, you have he who shall not be named Quentin Grimes, and then so I guess you had, but I didn't see the need for having to make a decision now. I really do think they could have wrote it out a little bit longer and see if he would have got back into form, and in the offseason, see what you would have been able to get. Because I feel like you still could have got this in the offseason, this same exact trade for Jared McCain.
Yeah. Shout out to Quentin Grimes. I completely forgot about that reference right there. But yeah, no. The biggest thing was that J Dub, he hasn't been as good this
Dude,
year
that's my thing.
offensively.
Yeah, sorry. My Thunder hatred just comes through when we talk about them. But yeah, they're I think they're a little overrated. A little bit overrated.
They're overrated
A little bit.
after.
No, yeah,
after.
yeah. I think they're overrated.
Are you saying that from like your Spurs?
No, I'm
Like,
saying that from an
are you saying
actual
that?
like watching basketball standpoint. Like they don't have a guy. Chet Holmgren, I'm sorry, is not that guy. Like offensively, at least. Like he's just not that guy. Like he doesn't know how to
Mhm.
assert himself. He's not consistent from three, and he doesn't know how to really bang down low. He never does it. All he does is shoot
Yeah.
from the mid range, and if he gets screens, and then he rolls and scores. He never really posts up anybody in the paint. So and then he never takes over basketball games anymore. He hasn't done that since his rookie year, where he was dropping 30, where he was dropping 25, 28, where there was that little like conversation for a little bit that shouldn't
Yeah.
have ever existed, but there was a conversation for a little bit. And then look at J-Dub. People say, okay, he had a good finals. Yes, you showed up when it mattered. But I'm talking about like the majority of games that you do play, you're nowhere to be found unless SGA is on the court. You're nowhere to be found unless SGA is putting the ball in your hand. There's nowhere to be found unless SGA is getting double teamed. I'm just sorry. Like he's just not a creator of his own shot like that. Like he's just not a good.
Yeah.
He's not that great offensively as people want to narrate him to be. I just don't think it's. I just don't think that they. There's too many times in the Oklahoma City Thunder's season so far, and we've seen it ever since they lost to the Spurs. It's not us.
Yeah.
It's not just us that causes them problems. It's been ever since that teams have found a way to shut down the Oklahoma City Thunder to an extent. Obviously, you can't do it because they're still a great basketball team.
Mhm.
But I'm
Yeah.
just saying where it's them and everybody else. It no longer. I don't think that's the narrative. I don't think that should be the narrative. Like I do think that there is teams that can definitely compete with them in a 7-game series, like the Denver Nuggets, like the San Antonio Spurs, and I think honestly, even like a team like the New York Knicks and Detroit Pistons can I think compete with them in a 7-game series right now. But that's because I feel like when you need another person to score, no one else is stepping up to the plate besides SGA, and I think that's why this Jared McCain trade matters so much.
Yeah. Well, okay, I'll say this. I agree with your take as far as right now, where they could compete in the 7-game series with them right now, but we could clearly say this is definitely not the best Thunder basketball we're gonna get throughout this entire year. Like we saw it at the
Maybe we
beginning
already
of the
saw
year.
it. Maybe we already
We
saw the best they're gonna play.
we saw it at the beginning of the year, and they're going through a rough patch and still the 1 seed by what, 5 games in the Western Conference. So,
Mhm.
and I know Shea's going to be out for a little bit. So maybe this is a time where not only Shea is going to save some tread on the tires, but as far as where J Dub, where Chet, where Jared McCain, they're going to have to figure things out. They're going to have to. So this could be a potential blessing in disguise. So I agree with you right now as far as the Thunder, they're definitely not playing the best basketball. Are they overrated to the extent right now? I would say no, because I think it's neck and neck right there between them, San Antonio, Denver, even Minnesota, which I'll talk about that Minnesota trade in a
Yeah,
second.
we are. We are.
I'm gonna regret it, but yeah, the Thunder, they're definitely not playing their best basketball right now, but I think they're gonna take it a tick up after the All-Star break whenever Shea gets back. That's my thinking right there. So I agree with you on that. Maybe Chet's not as good as we panned him out to be, but J Dub, I don't know. Just what I saw versus Denver, what I saw versus Minnesota, it wasn't just the finals. It was 3 consecutive playoff series in crucial situations where they were doubling Shea, and he had to make the right passes. So I've seen it from J Dub. We've seen it in the brightest spots. Like we need to see it in the regular season. But hey, in all honesty, I'd rather have a playoff riser than a regular season great. In all honesty, maybe that's
I
the
don't know.
case.
I guess I'm just a believer that your game's just a consistent game until it's not. Like I think
I
like
buy that. I buy
I
that.
think consistency matters throughout the entirety of basketball. Like I
Mhm.
understand that people do rise to another level because playoff atmospheres do rise, but how can I trust you if I don't see it night in and night out right now?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like that's just my thing. Like I understand we've seen it in the past. We've seen players play great in the past and never get to that level again. We've
Yeah.
seen a player like TJ Warren in the bubble just go ape, and the next season in the playoffs go ape again. So I'm just
Mhm.
saying, like, I just need to see it game in and game out. Like Jimmy
Mhm.
Butler is known as not a regular season basketball player, but when the playoffs
Yeah.
comes around, he's a different animal. And we saw last year that caught up to him. He just wasn't the same guy in the postseason
Yeah.
like he was. So
Mhm.
it's just one of those things. Like I need to see it
Mhm.
on a consistency rather than hope that you
Yeah.
do it in the playoffs. Because how do I know? How do I know
Yeah.
you
I
are
buy
gonna do it
that.
again?
Yeah. Yeah, I buy that. No, that makes sense, but I just think that I saw it and it was so recent that who knows if that knee injury that he had at the beginning of the year is still like lingering. Maybe like he's finally like gonna start finding his footing without Shea in the lineup. But I don't know. That's gonna be something to watch. But it's time. It's time, Josh, to talk about all all the trades
Which
that
one?
happened.
Which one?
Do you want me to just list them out to you? I mean, I could just list
Hey,
them out.
just which one do you want to talk about? Which one do you want to talk about? You know, you got to start off with one. Should we
Let's
just rip the
start with
band-aid off? Let's rip the
let's
band-aid off.
Band-Aid. This is not no Band-Aid, bro. This is like times
Let's rip
10
it
of
off.
Band-Aid.
Let's rip it off. Let's rip
Kobe
it off.
White to the
Bulls
Hornets.
trade Kobe White to the Hornets. Bulls get Colin Sexton,
Give me a second.
Usman Dang, 2029 second round pick, the least favorable of the Nuggets or Hornets. Knicks 2031 second round pick, the Nuggets 2031 second round pick, and the Hornets get Kobe White, Mike Conley Jr., a 2029 second round pick, and which is the least favorable of the Hawks or Heat, and the Thunders get Mason Plumlee Jr. So, so what are your thoughts, man? You just lost your guy. You just lost
Uh,
your guy.
as the people who have been watching for multiple years,
When I said they were going to overtake the Bulls, I didn't mean that they were actually going to take something from the Bulls. I thought they were just going to move up in the standings above them.
not only did they take our precious 10 spot that we have for the past 4 years, but they took my favorite player in Kobe White. Like, I don't have a jersey of him for no reason. Like, Josh knows this. My fandom of Kobe White, like, this has been even before he was good. Like this has been my favorite player. I even said it on our NFL pod, which y'all should check that out. We even started off with Kobe White. They had to ask me about that. And I'm telling you, I wasn't joking whenever you texted me, Josh, whenever you just texted me Kobe, and I already knew what happened, bro. I already knew what happened. I was trying to deny it. I was trying to deny Kobe White being gone, but this is like the stages of grief. I'm still in denial. I'm still in the first one. Still in the first step right here. I
I'll
don't
never
want to.
forget.
Yeah, I'll never forget Kobe White getting traded. Like I'm not even joking when I say when like Derrick Rose got traded to the Knicks. This is like Kobe White getting traded to the Hornets. Like it's rough, and like not only that, we keep getting guards. Like we have so many guards on the roster. We have 6 guards on the roster. Like you would think, okay, we're trading away Kobe White. It's like, okay, we have a bunch of guards. Maybe we should go get like maybe a forward. Let's actually get a 2 guard, like somebody who could play off the ball. No, we're gonna get Colin Sexton. Yeah. And we're gonna get Mike Conley, which we're gonna release, and he's gonna go back to the Timberwolves. But yeah, we're gonna stay with guards and 3 second round picks, in which it goes to 2 second round picks because Kobe White's hurt. So it goes down because he didn't pass his physical. So yeah, that's even better right there for the Bulls. We get less compensation. We could have gotten a first round pick for Kobe White. Like you can't convince me otherwise. He drops 15, 5 and 5 consistently every night, and a good secondary creator or a 6 man. So this is just rough, man. It's rough. My goat is gone, and I'll never forget. I'll never forget him dunking on Wimby. I know Josh won't forget that. He's gonna be one of the few guys that's ever dunked on Wimby in a Bulls uniform. I'm just saying. But go ahead, Josh. What do you think of this
Yeah,
trade?
I think Ross is really annoying me, saying that him and Colin Sexton are like on the same level, like they're the same player. Like
Mhm.
no, Kobe White's way better than Colin Sexton. I'm sorry. Like Kobe White's just a better offensive. Like sorry, Colin Sexton isn't dropping 23 a night. He's just not going to do it. It's Kobe White will, and he's probably just as good defensively. So I do think that they did lose a pretty big asset losing Kobe White, but I guess they had to get rid of somebody, you know, and they could have got rid of anyone else, like any other the 5 other guards that they had on their team, but they didn't. And they got rid of Kobe White. So let's just talk about him for a stand. Like I do think that going to the Hornets is going to be good. Are they going to resign him? We have to look at that because they do have a
Mhm.
lot of shooters. They have a lot of guards right now. Not a guard. They have a lot of scorers right now, which am excited for the Hornets right now. Like I said that
Mhm.
they're my surprise team. I do think that they've been doing very well. especially with Brandon Miller, with LaMelo Ball, with Colin Knuppel, with
Hmm.
the I just went blank. But yeah, they've had a really good team so far this year,
Yeah.
and I think having him come off the bench will probably only elevate them to a higher to a just a team with a lot more threats on the roster. And they've already been giving people a lot of trouble, especially and but now shooting the three, they just seem like a team that probably won't be able to miss.
Yeah, no, as far as this Hornet side right here, I love this move for them. Like, this is just saying we're gonna score points. Like, we're gonna outscore you. We're gonna be in a track meet every single every single game. And I'm not even joking. Like, whenever Kobe White does come back, I love this for the Hornets, and they're on an 8 game win. I think it's eight at this moment, 8 game win streak right now, and they're the hottest team in the league because they score points and they shoot the three at an efficient level. And Kobe White, he shoots 40% from three for the past 3 years. So they got him for a right reason. But let me just list you, or I even underestimated how many guards we have on the roster. Josh, how many guards do you think the Bulls have on the roster as of right now? A 15-man roster.
Okay, so we got Trey Jones, we got Josh Giddey, got Anthony Simons, we got Rob Dillingham. Hold up, Mike Conley Jr. right now.
Well, he's gone. We
Got
already released him.
already released him. Dang it.
Yeah.
Mm, I'm not sure. Who are the other two?
We have 8 guards on a 15-man roster.
No, I think
8.
that's for a reason.
Rob Dillingham, Josh Giddey, Jaden Ivey, Trey Jones,
Oh,
Yuki
Jaden Ivey, yeah.
Kamenwara, Mac McClung, Colin Sexton, and Anthony Simons. And like, this is all just off, like, this is all off the top of my head. I think we signed Yuki. I think Ryan was the one that told me that one, but who knows? Shout out to the short king himself. But uh, I don't know. I don't know, Josh. Like, I can't tell you where the Bulls are going with this. But you know what? Let's talk about a move that helps out 2 other teams right here, which finally we get rid of Nikola Vucevic, which Josh knows this. I've been trying to get rid of him for years off the Bulls roster. He goes to the Boston Celtics for Anthony Simons, one of the million guards we have, and a second-round pick. So not much from the Bulls side, but what do you think about this from the Celtics side right here?
I think as far as the Celtics side, it really adds a stretch five for them. They can definitely compete with any. They just beat. Who did they just beat by 30? The
The
Thunder.
Knicks.
The Knicks. They just beat the Knicks
Yeah.
by 30. So,
Mhm.
and and Jalen Brown didn't even play in that. No, they beat the Rockets by 30.
Oh, it was the Rockets?
Was it the Rockets?
Let me see. I swear it was the Knicks. I'll
I
check.
thought it was the
You're
Rockets,
good. Go ahead.
but because the Knicks have been doing pretty good actually. So
Mhm. Let me see.
I was
No,
yawning. Okay, no, but Vooch,
you're
I
all
think
good.
this adds a good stretch five for them. I understand. Ryan was kind of annoying me. I think he was just being more of a fan, saying that Luke Garza and um, who else did he say? I forgot the other player that he was
Oh,
saying.
is better.
Yeah, I was like, no, they are not better than Nikola Vucevic. Nikola Vucevic can drop 22 and 10 each and every single given night if he wanted to. And I do think that having that guy kind of adds a little bit of what Al Horford was a couple seasons ago. At least offensively, we're going to have to wait and see what Vooch does defensively, especially come playoff time, because we do know he is not one of the better defenders in the NBA. He's actually pretty
He's
bad.
a cone.
But as far as offense, we know he's one of the better players in the NBA at the big man spot. So I do think this adds another weapon to them offensively that they can really separate from teams when especially in crunch time when they need a big bucket too. He'll be there.
Yeah, so Boston, they beat Miami, they beat Houston by 21, they beat Dallas by 10, they beat Milwaukee by over 40. That's who they beat them. But I think from Boston sides right here, I'm wondering because first off, Jalen Brown, he should be an MVP conversation, which I know we'll talk about another day. But this dude's been balling. And Jason Tatum, does he come back? Like, the East is still wide open, and you just got Nikola Vucevic, so he's on a 1 year deal. Maybe you could re-sign him for cheap. But I think this points in a direction where I see Jason Tatum coming back. In all honesty, like, not even trying to rush him back. He was already deadlifting 405 the other day. It was shown on social media. Like, If he's already doing that, he's getting close to basketball shape. Like I know he have to play his way in, but if he comes back by March or April, like he's saying, late March, early April, he should be back by the postseason. Even Jason Tatum being there makes so much of a difference. But okay, I want to ask you about this one right here. So, because I know you've seen this guy play up close and personal right here. Ayo Dosunmu to the Timberwolves right here, and Julian Phillips for Rob Dillingham, Leonard Miller, and 4 second-round picks right here. So, do you think this is a good move for the Timberwolves right here?
I'm trying to find it so I can have the like it right in front of me.
I know
I
you're
can't
not.
find it. I found it. No, I did not find it. I'm a liar. I'm a liar. I'm sorry.
Oh man, Ayo Dosunmu, bro. That was I still remember whenever Josh and I
No,
went
but
to go
I
watch the game, triple double
Yeah, he
for
went
the
crazy.
Spurs.
No, but as far as like the Bulls getting Rob Dillingham, I don't know. I just feel like that's not the team for him to go to. Like I do think he needs to go to a team that's established that can develop him, and give him maybe he does get play, and I don't think he gets play time on the Bulls, which is the crazy part. Like I just don't
Yeah,
see
I
him
know.
getting a way for him to play. So this isn't a team that he can really grow from as far as a Rob Dillingham standpoint. But I do like Io to Minnesota, and I do think they needed this move bad. A guy that can move, that can handle the ball, move the ball around, find open guys. But most importantly, Io can score. Like he can score from
Yeah.
really all levels of basketball. He can get to the rack. I've seen it firsthand. He can score it to the rack, mid range, 3 point shot, and he's very good defensively as well. Like he can stay in front of a lot of people. Not the greatest defender, but he's still a good defender in the NBA. And I do think they needed this move bad. I think they realized, okay, maybe that Giannis isn't going to be an option for us. You need draft picks to actually do that. But I do think that for them getting Io, it really helps their chances, especially going into a time where you want to make a run for that top three, for that top four, and play a good team, easier team in the playoffs. So I do think that this move for them definitely gives them a lot of
Yeah.
firepower and take a lot of pressure away from Anthony Edwards, especially handling the basketball and scoring.
Yeah, I think that this move, I already considered the Timberwolves close to title contenders, and I think like they're in that next echelon. I see them up there with the level of the Thunder, the Spurs, the Nuggets, in my opinion, because they have the defensive versatility, and Anthony Edwards is only getting better. How I view this, somebody else said it. I forgot who said it. I don't want to take credit for it, but how Nikhil Alexander Walker was defensively, this is like the gadget guy for like offensively, if that makes sense. They're not going to have that defensive firepower, but they have more offensive firepower, in which helping out Anthony Edwards being a secondary ball creator is going to do so much for him because Io, he just didn't have the opportunity to drop 15, 3, and 3 every single game if he needs to. And upgrade over Mike Conley, who is going to be back on this roster, which I don't know how that works since he got traded somewhere else, since he got traded to Charlotte from the Bulls. So I don't know how that works. He's able to go back to the Timberwolves, but they're getting him back, so they pretty much didn't lose much in all honesty. And this is just an athletic upgrade in the Western Conference. You need to have athletic guards to keep up with everybody who's there in the Western Conference. You have the Spurs, all the guards they have, the Thunder's guards, the Nuggets, Jamal Murray, the Rockets, they still have some good guards. So this is a move they needed to make, and I think they're in that upper echelon of title contenders. But all right, Josh, is there any or what other move is there?
Maybe Kaminga
Yeah, Kaminga and Buddy Hield to the
and
Hawks. Yeah, for
Kristaps goes to
Kristaps.
the Warriors.
So, what
Yeah.
do you think
Okay.
of that
So
move
I don't know. I don't really like
from
the trade for
Giannis
either
to
side.
Kristaps?
Yeah, I just think Kristaps, maybe this is just maybe a last push effort to maybe see if they can get a guy that can also be a secondary scorer with Jimmy Butler going down for the season, but
Yeah.
Kristaps, who knows if he's even going to be available. And we'll see what they do with the contract. And as far as Jonathan Kaminga, I think it's probably one of the worst spots he could have gone to. Like
Hmm.
as far as like him getting back into a rotation, there's too many forwards there, too many wing players, and then plus like for a guy that's not great at shooting the three, there's not another ball handler next to him to really get him the ball. They're gonna try forcing Dyson Daniels to play point guard, and I just don't see that happening. And yeah, I just don't like the move from either side.
Yeah, I don't. it's a very weird move, but I understand them getting off of Kristaps since Trey Young's not there no more. But I'll say this about the Warriors. So Warriors fans can't keep expecting them to make this great move to pair alongside Steph Curry because if they didn't do it at 36 years old, 37 years old, 38 years old, what makes you think they're going to trade for somebody at 39 years old or alongside somebody who's 39 years old? So I guess I could see both sides of it. Like where Steph, he's like content, saying like, okay, I won my championships, I won my last hurrah. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna be crazy and say I'm demanding a trade, or if you don't trade for this person, I'm not. Maybe he's like I have my championships, I have my 4 championships. He's like I had a great career, and I'm gonna play the rest of this out like going on a Kobe arc, pretty much. That's it. That's what it seems like up to this point.
Yeah, I feel
So
like this is waving the right flag a little bit, like waving the white flag, like it's over. Like
yeah,
the dynasty is over.
yeah, I think so because Kristaps expiring contract, you're gonna free up cap space. So who knows how that goes. But also another thing, if you're gonna trade a young star in Jonathan Kaminga, well, star, if you're trading him, you should trade him 2 years ago whenever you had him at the peak of his value. Like
Mm-hmm.
like I was just talking about this with the Grizzlies at the beginning of the episode. You could have 2 through 15 be so great. You could have it be so great. But if you don't have that one guy that gets you over the top, it doesn't matter. And you know what? The Warriors did have that one guy in Steph Curry. And they didn't make those moves to go acquire another star, to
Yep.
acquire a third guy, a fourth guy. So it's just like why would they do it now? There's no more expecting from the Warriors up to this point as far as to trade for anybody. So it's frustrating, but at the same time, it's like, so what? But okay, last thing. Everybody was talking about it for a while. We talked about it at the beginning of the season. Giannis ended up not being traded. So what did you take away from this whole fiasco? I feel like there was a bunch of antics, a bunch of drama in this one. So what did you take away from this after Shams finally said he's not being traded?
I just thought like, what a waste of time. Like, what a waste right now. Like, there's belief that they still can build a team around Giannis and fight for a championship. Then what are you doing? Like, what are we doing right now? Like, why haven't you done it? One of those things, and then like you don't think every other team that's trying to trade for him thinks the same thing, you know? So it's kind of like, just I don't know. I feel like you're just trying to hold on, but also I understand the Buck standpoint. Like, why am I going to trade you if you're not truly demanding it? And why would I trade you for less than what we think we can get? You know, so it's just one of those things as well. Like, we'll just hold you, and you can't do nothing about it. So, um, I see both sides' standpoint. I just think maybe Giannis just needs to be more assertive in where he wants to go, where he wants to play, and who he wants to pray for. Because if he doesn't, if he's not speaking out on it, then the Bucks for sure are on some type of urgency to really get anything done. I mean, James Harden came out, asked for a trade on Monday, was traded on Tuesday, so
Yeah.
Or Wednesday, but you know what I mean. So I just think that there has to be an assertive effort from both sides to really get the thing done and to get what they both want. Because I understand the Bucks maybe don't want to let him go. They want to build a team around him because he is their greatest player of all time. But sometimes you just got to cut bait. You weren't able to get the job done for years and years and years. You swung for the fences on many moves, failed many times, and sometimes that's just the name of the basketball. That's the name of
Yep.
sports. Like you're gonna
Yep.
fail more often than you succeed. And literally, there's only one winner at the end of the
Yeah.
day. 31 teams in the NFL are gonna fail this year. Have felt it will fail this year, and 29 teams in the NBA will fail this year. So,
Mhm.
um, I just think it's part of the process, and the process is figuring out what you do with your biggest asset of all time and trying to figure out how you can navigate the best move for your team and the best move. And Giannis has to navigate the best move for himself as well.
I just hate that. Like, okay, first off, Giannis has only won one playoff series since winning the championship. So first off, I'm gonna say that. And just going back and forth as far as like I want to be traded, my heart is here in Milwaukee, blah blah blah. Like you're saying, demand for a trade. Like you can't come back and give that infamous Wolf of Wall Street quote saying, "Oh, I'm not leaving" on Twitter after all those reports, which I know were true as far as you trying to get out of Milwaukee. So it's like just stick to one side, like whether you are do you want to be traded or not. And like like you're saying, the Bucks, they have every single right not to trade Giannis because I'm pretty sure they could get 10 times more from him in the summer whenever they have draft picks that are lined up. Maybe, I don't know, maybe somebody ends up falling or going into the top 5. They get a young superstar in one of these this great draft class right here. So it makes sense from the Bucks side right here, but Giannis, just make up your mind. Like, I don't even know if you want to be traded up to this point no more. So there's
Hmm.
so much back and forth. So yeah, it was just overwhelming. Like it was talked about from what November all the way up to February and built up all the way. Sham
Yeah.
said don't sleep because Giannis is gonna get traded, and then it didn't happen. So yeah, no, it was underwhelming. It was underwhelming on that front right there.
And how do you feel about the 3 teams that didn't make a move? Let's say like the Rockets. How do you feel about them not making a move?
I think the Rockets not making a move is I honestly I don't know what to think from that point because you hope Amin Thompson starts shooting the ball better. Honestly, coming from an Amin Thompson guy, if Amin Thompson goes maybe even 10% better from 3, honestly, like we would not even be discussing like, oh, the Rockets should have made a move. It'd be like, okay, you're fine standing pat right here because the Rockets are still a good team. But honestly, I think either the Timberwolves or the Rockets should have traded for Io DeSumo or Kobe White, and one
Trey
of them did.
Jones.
Yeah,
I
trade
think.
one of the guards from the Bulls, like like you were saying. I mean, Chris Paul, he is gonna get waived from the Raptors after he got traded, so maybe he goes back to Houston. But again, that fits not really that well. But let me ask you about the Pistons. Pistons didn't make a single move. They traded away Jaden Ivey, so they didn't really acquire anybody.
Well,
So
I guess they didn't. They just didn't count because they did technically make a trade.
mhm.
They got Kevin Herter and Dario Saric. So,
But
um,
altering, like, because they're the one
no,
seed.
yeah, no, I get you. I just think for them, like, they didn't really need to do much. I think they know that they're the best team. Jaden Ivey really hasn't been producing. Like, let's be
Yeah,
honest, like he hasn't really been doing nothing for them. So I just think adding a guy like Kevin Herter, another wing player, though not as good as some, not that great, but like he still adds another depth piece. I think for them. So I think that's
yeah,
really the move. And then plus getting a first round protected swap from the Timberwolves. So like it's a protected pick, but they
yeah,
get it anyways. And then yeah, I just think and the Heat didn't make a move either. Like I
yeah.
think the Heat were really banking on a Giannis move or something big, and they just didn't get the job done for me. And I just feel like I don't know, the Heat for me this year don't look like the team that's going to turn it up in the playoffs this year.
Yeah. And I think if they could have traded away Andrew Wiggins, these other guys to get better first round picks for the massive Giannis trade in the summer or whatever star you want to go for. Because Andrew Wiggins is an expiring contract. So you could have gotten something for him. You could have gotten some pieces for him and maybe gotten like, okay, I have 2 extra first round picks, or who knows how first round picks are evaluated nowadays in the NBA, but you could have got more assets alongside that. But I I don't really know about the Miami Heat. In all honesty, they're in the same boat as the Bulls. Like it's the Bulls, Hawks, and the Heat. They're just all like buddies. They're the eight, nine,
What do you
10
how do you
seed
feel
for a
about
reason.
the Spurs not making a move?
I mean, if you're the Spurs, you don't make a move at all. Like you don't ruin anything that's there, in my opinion. Like
I do think as a Spurs fan, I would have liked to see them move for like maybe a stretch four and or a 3-and-D wing. Like I think that would have been
Gershon
nice.
Yabusele, Bull.
No, they tried moving for Gershon
Yeah.
Yabusele, but they didn't want to take the contract. So that
Yeah.
was the thing. Like,
Mhm.
but man, I would have liked to see them move for like a guy that can do that, kind of trading a Jeremy Sohan and another contract, like a Kelly Olynyk contract to get an expiring veteran that can really add to the team would have been nice. But it's all
Mhm.
right. I mean, I'm just nitpicking. That's the
Yeah.
thing. Like, I just would have liked to see more of a player that can assert himself in the rotation. So
Mhm.
because Jeremy Sohan has yet to do that this year. So I just think that it would have been nice, but who cares? They're number 2 team in pretty much the NBA.
I was
So
about to say number 2 team in basketball, and Dylan Harper is gonna get better. Stephon Castle is gonna get better. Wimby is gonna get better. I mean, their starting five. What their starting five really hasn't played a whole collective minutes together in a while, right? Something like that.
hmm They've only
Like
played one time. Their Desire starting five has only played one time together this season.
exactly. So it's like you can't even make a trade when you haven't even seen your starting lineup be out there. But well, all right. I think we pretty much covered everything for this trade deadline right here. So, Josh,
Yep.
any last words before we get out of here?
I'm pretty tired. I got tired like halfway through that pod, bro.
you, you better lock in because you got shout out to Magisterium, by the way. If you guys want to listen to that, some great Catholic pod, by the way. Don't mean to do a shameless plug, but
Yeah,
but yeah, but
you
yeah.
gotta go
Before
listen and get edified for the of what Christ intends.
Mhm.
Sorry,
Exactly.
not to get religiously political on you, but whatever.
Hey, this is our podcast. This is our podcast.
Yeah, this
so-
is my podcast, by the way, so I don't
Yeah.
care what y'all think.
So, all right. Before we get out of here, find us on Twitch, Discord, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube under TSCSA or the so-called sports analyst. Whether you listen to this live or another day, we appreciate it. Make sure you share this to anybody that likes sports. We'll see you guys soon for Super Bowl reactions. You